So this is the MG Maxus 9. So those of you who have been looking for an all-electric MPV, this is the one for you. Here in Thailand, it's badged as an MG as well as a Maxus, but if it ever comes to Malaysia, I believe it's just going to be called the Maxus, because both brands are marketed by different people back home, even though both are actually owned by the same company from China, SAIC. So I think you can just ignore that MG badge over there and take a look at the whole front end. Like I said, this is not a conventionally styled MPV, and nor should it be, because this is an all-electric car. So there's no need for a big, massive, toothy grille. There's no radiator to cool, so there's just a simple, very clean design that's on display over here. And this is exact proof that you don't need massive grills with chrome all over to make your car look good, because this doesn't have one, and I think it looks pretty interesting. It's unconventional for sure, but it does look good, at least to my eyes. Now the back, I think, is even cooler. Let's try to close the boot over here. There you go. The boot is pretty small with all the seats up, but that is to be expected for well, basically any MPV bar the Kia Carnival, really. So like I said, the rear end is really a lot more elaborate than the front. You still have a single line flowing at the top, but there is a secondary line going down as well. I'll show you from the back. I think this is one of the better looking MPVs out there. It's not too boxy, it's not too wild, but it does look handsome. What do you think? Should this replace, you know, the whole lines of Alphards and Vellfires outside our school, our kindergarten, you know, all being left idle with the engine on? I think this being a much cleaner EV running around our schools would make the air around our children do one a lot cleaner, nicer for our kids to breathe as well. Let's take a look at the inside. Excuse me. Yeah, there you go. The grille, as you can see, this is the Maxus 9 interior. Pretty simple, but the texture and the feel are pretty decent. A small screen in the middle, a bigger screen for both front passengers, and you've also got a Mercedes style gear selector stock on the right side. You've even got embedded buttons down the center and a wireless charging pad right there. The seats have this kind of Bentley style crisscross diamond cut to it. Looks pretty cool. And the back, yeah, there's a VIP style captain seats down the center, very similar to the Vellfire and Alphard. And as you can see, there's a gentleman sitting in the back with a decent amount of space as well. So this is a proper 7-seater. And that's with the middle seats pushed quite far back as well. You can surely move the center seats quite far forward and to free up space in the back. Perhaps that is also why there's little to no space in the boot. But of course, if you're planning to use this as a strict 4-seater, you can fold the rear seats down and have plenty of space. Anyway, let's talk about the range. This is an MPV, so you'd think an MPV is meant to carry a lot of people over longer distances, and you'd be right. This has an expected range of over 500 kilometers. So this is one of the longer range EVs in the market. What do you think? Should this replace the Alphard and the Vellfire as the de facto MPV back in Malaysia? I mean, this being an EV, I don't think that's going to happen overnight, but we've got to start somewhere. And with MPVs being one of the more popular body styles among Malaysian customers, I think this would be a great option if it is being introduced back home in Malaysia. What do you think? How much would you be willing to pay for this car? I think around 300,000 ringgit would be fair for the level of premiumness, for the level of luxury that this car offers, with the level of tech as well. As you can see, this is a slightly lower spec model without the side bolsters, or rather the side cocoon for the rear captain seats, but it's still pretty luxurious. You've got individually controlled electrical seats on both sides, I would presume. Pretty spacious seats back there as well. So there you go, the Maxus 9, or the MG Maxus 9 as it is marketed here in Thailand. What do you think? Should this come to Malaysia, and how much would you be willing to pay for this? Comment below, let me know. Thank you for watching, guys.